This meeting of the Aurora City Council for January 13th, 2026 is hereby called to order at 6:01 p.m. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Barrero.
Here.
Alderwoman Garza.
Here.
Alderman Masiacos.
Present.
Alderman Nunez.
Here.
Alderman Franco.
Here.
Alderman Seville.
Here.
Alderman Banuelos.
Here.
Alderwoman Smith.
Here.
Alderman Bug.
Here.
Alderwoman Bade.
Here.
Alderman Larson.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Mayor Lash is present.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the appointment of
So
a sergeant
moved.
at arms
Second.
for this meeting? Motion was made by Alderwoman Smith, second by Alderwoman Garza. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries by voice vote. Next, I'll ask Alderman Masiacos to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And we'll move right along to the mayor's report. John, take it away.
Thank you so much, Mayor. It's another night to celebrate here in Aurora as we honor two groups who've made their names known at the national and the international level. We'll start with the worldwide circuit. Well, Bonzi Valley High School made headlines on New Year's Day as the Marching Warriors were one of the centerpieces in Rome, Italy's New Year's Day parade. Let's give them a round of applause. The group's Rome tour spanned from December 28th through January 4th. It saw 146 members of the band perform live in Rome. Tonight, we have 6 of the Marching Warriors section leaders with us in attendance. In addition to the chair of Bobanzi's Fine Arts Department, Mark Duker, they're going to accept a special award from Mayor John Lash. To commemorate this outstanding achievement, any ward alder people who'd like to come down and take a picture as well, you're more than welcome to at this time. Also invite up Bobanzi. Come on up.
All right, that's outstanding. Okay, the question is who's going to receive it? So it's just real quickly, want to acknowledge the hard work and what a achievement to get called to such an exciting international event, and what an incredible opportunity for all of you to have that international experience and to represent our city. I think is outstanding, feather in our cap as a city. So I want to present the Mayor's Award of Excellence to the entire Waubonsie Valley High School Marching Warriors. I know they probably wouldn't all fit in here without a violation by the fire marshal, but for representing Aurora in the international stage, performing at Rome, Italy's 2026 New Year's Day Parade, you have made Aurora proud. So what we'll do is, I'm going to pull this out of the way. We'll shoot a photo real quick.
Let's have the award in the middle.
Right here, we don't want you out. Okay, are we good? Justin, tell us.
Yeah, you have the longer hair. Could you go towards the right a little bit and make space? Yep, and then. No, I'm sorry. The right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. That works. Okay, ready? 1, 2, and 3. Big smile. Perfect. You're all set.
Give you an opportunity just to say a few words and any reflections you guys like to share from the trip and experience.
Sure. So I would just say, first of all, to the City Council, thanks for the invitation. We had an amazing trip. I think for a lot of students performing in the New Year's Day Parade, we do obviously the Aurora Parade and we do parades in Naperville. It was a very unique experience because it was extremely well attended and just very exciting to play for an international crowd with many groups from all over the world performing there as well. But the other exciting thing that we got to do that was seemingly an accident, we were going to St. Peter's New Year's Day before the parade. We thought we were going to watch a mass with the Pope on TV, and suddenly we got into a line that took us inside the basilica, and so we got to sit about 100 feet from the Pope and attend a mass. So Catholic, non-Catholic didn't matter. We had an amazing time, and it kind of blew everybody's mind. So it was a great trip. I can tell you as a teacher, we feel very fortunate to be in a community that has families and students who value that kind of an international experience. and it's also great to live in a community where the city recognizes the importance of that as well. So we had a great trip. We're glad to be back. We're almost healthy after traveling for a week, but it's great to be here, and we appreciate the City Council giving us this recognition very much. We're lucky to have gone.
Any of our students have any words, thoughts, reflections? I won't put you on the spot. Thank you so much, everybody, for representing the city of Aurora.
Congratulations again to Waubonsie Valley High School. Round of applause for them. Our youth continue to make things happen here in Aurora, and that theme continues in our second ward here tonight. It's going to go to someone who continues to make Aurora proud. He's been honored here before, and he made history again in late December, earning 3 gold medals at the AAU Northern Indoor National Track and Field Championships. He's not only won 3 gold medals, though. He also set the national 12U record for the 200-meter dash, a national champion right here in this room from Aurora. Put your hands together for the Hergen Middle Schooler and Aurora Flyer star, Amari Lewis. We'll have Mayor Lash honor Lewis right now in front. Family, friends, anybody who'd like to come up to share the award with him, you're more than welcome to.
That's impressive. How fast? How fast? I'll let you say a few words and you can share it then. So, Amari, very impressive, and this is again another Mayor's Award of Excellence to recognize your efforts for bringing home 3 gold medals at the AAU Northern Indoor National Champion and setting a national record for the 12U 200-meter dash. You made Aurora proud. Let's put it together for Amari.
Perfect. Yep. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Big smile. All right, you're all set.
We'll have Coach Boatwright from the Aurora Flyers say a few words, too, on this amazing achievement.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'd like to give a credit to Amari, outstanding work ethic. He works very hard, not only on the track, but in the classroom as well. And we want to extend more gratitude for him. So he will be working a lot harder to get to the rest of my college athletes and high school athletes and Olympians. So he's definitely headed in the right direction. And I'm going to give him all the credit and all the hard work. Thank you very much.
I think we'll probably see him back here.
I was going to say, we'll see him back here, I'm sure, for years to come, hopefully at the Olympic level, as Coach Boatwright said as well. 2 great achievements here in Aurora tonight. Thank you all for being here. It's a great day in Aurora, as always. Thank you.
Okay, and then the final piece of the mayor's report, if you're here for an award and you want to slip out before the city business begins, you're welcome to do so. You're welcome to stay. Exciting stuff coming up. Next, I'm going to ask Jason Bauer to give us a brief update on a emergency situation that happened over the holidays, working hard to rectify.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Jason Bauer with the Department of Public Works. So leaving the treatment plant, we've got a number of large pipes that hit different areas of the city. The biggest one is our 36-inch southeast transmission main. So that basically, it's 36 inches for a great distance, and then it branches off into some smaller pipes. I say smaller, but they're still 20, 24 inches. They work their way down to the Fox Valley area, down into wards 9, 10. Actually, about 55% of the water that leaves the plant utilizes this pipe. And over the holidays, as the mayor stated, we found that there was a leak in this pipe, which isn't a huge problem in and of itself. We do have the ability to repair this pipe, take it out of service for a short amount of time, and make that repair. Unfortunately, this one is leaking inside a casing underneath the railroad. So we've been working between engineering, water production, and water and sewer maintenance to determine the best way to fix this. You can see on the graphic there, we have it circled in red. You can see the pink/purple pipe. That's the transmission main. The blue lines are our standard water main lines. And it's leaking inside that casing right underneath that southernmost track. So obviously, as you can tell, not an easy fix. We can't just dig up the railroad and, put them out of service. It's a little bit difficult, more difficult than any regular dig that we would have. It's also a little bit deep there. So as I said, we've been working on some issues. We came up with the plan to line this. So since we determined when the break happened and we've been working on it, we have reached out to 6 different vendors that have the ability to line this pipe. As it turns out, only 3 of them could even line something of this diameter because, again, it's 36 inch. When you're lining sanitary sewer of that size, that's a little more common, but a water main lining project is a little bit different. So only 2 companies even felt comfortable giving us a number. So we took those 2 numbers, and both of those companies are capable of doing the work. So what we're going to do, our game plan moving forward, is to get under contract with the lowest of those 2 vendors, and the price for that is right around $500,000. So we'll be coming to you again probably in about 2 weeks. We'll probably bypass I&T and we'll bypass Cal just so that we can get them under contract even sooner. Our game plan is just letting everyone know tonight that what we plan to do is issue them a PO not to exceed $50,000 in the next day or so for them to start manufacturing this liner. So they're going to manufacture the liner. It'll take about 3 to 4 weeks to get it manufactured and delivered here. And in the meantime, while we're working on that, we're going to utilize the emergency repair contract. We're going to use Miller Pipelining. They've done work for us before. They're more than able to do their portion of the work because a lining company can't just come in and line this pipe. First thing we need to do is do some tree clearing. We need to get down to where the pipe is. We actually need to dig down and get everything secure. And then as soon as the liner shows up, then we'll have to cut into the pipe. And then the lining company will start the process of cleaning the pipe out and then installing the liner. It's a cured in place liner. Again, it's similar to what we do with sanitary sewers. It's just a different material. So when we're done with that, then Miller Pipeline will put everything back together and we'll put it back into service. So we are able to take this out of service for an amount of time. We're in a low flow time of year. Luckily, we're not in the middle of August or when the demand is higher. So we can take this out of service to do this work. But we don't know exactly how bad the leak is. It hasn't gotten any worse since we've noticed it, but again, we don't have eyes on it. We're just kind of watching the meters at the plant to see how much water is going out. So we know it is leaking. We don't know if it's a crack that's getting bigger, if it's just a hole. We just don't know. So we don't really want to spend another 2 months trying to bid this project out. We'd rather use the emergency service to do the digging. We've already bid that out, and we do have contractors that can do that portion of the work. And then again, we've done what we feel is a fair amount of due diligence to make sure that we're getting a good price on the lining. So we want to get this moving as quickly as possible and really not wait any longer because, again, it's taken us a couple of weeks just to get to this point. So now that we have a game plan moving forward, we just wanted to inform everyone and
it sounds like bad news, but when you called me, I was at Alderwoman Bade's Christmas event, and the numbers you dropped were 1 to 2 million. So
yeah, well,
so the good news is you came up with this lining solution, and
yeah, so the lining will be about $500,000, but then
Yeah.
we will still have to pay Miller Pipeline time and materials for their portion. So that could be anywhere from another $100,000 to could be anywhere up to $300,000, depending on how we want to direct them to do the work. If we want them to add any valves, if we want to add any hydrants. I mean, these valves are massive, so if we end up doing that, that's a big expense. So it really just depends on what we want to do as we're putting it back together. But yeah, so it could be, so the portion we know would be the lining piece. That's, again, with contingency, we're thinking about $550,000. And then it could be as low as $100,000 for the digging and the actual pipe work. But it could go up from there if we decide that it's in the best interest to get another hydrant or a valve in there, something like that. But again, we don't have to bid that one out because that was already bid out through the emergency contract. So we more than happy to report back what the final cost is when we get there for sure. But anyway, that's the game plan.
any other, Alderman Franco?
Is it possible, excuse me, that the traffic on the railroad tracks could have caused the leak at all?
It's possible, yeah. I mean, leaks happen all the time for a
Right.
number of different reasons. Could be soil, could have been a defect in the pipe, could be anything. Could definitely have been the traffic on the trains. I mean, this line was put in, I believe, 1991, so hasn't had that much time in service. So that definitely could lead to it. That's part of the reason it's in a casing. So
Right.
the casing extends past the tracks. So the casing is taking the brunt of the force when the train cars are going over it.
Yeah, the reason I asked that is if we were to ever find that out, would the culpability be on them a little bit to help us with that? I mean, that would be the perfect scenario, help with the cost, but, if we don't know, we don't know.
I can tell you what the answer would be
Well,
as
I'm
soon
sure.
as we
Yeah,
ask,
I
but
get it,
yeah,
but,
no, we're there by easement. We're crossing their property, and we take all the responsibility for it. And that's part of the reason for the casing is they want to ensure that the railroad is going to be safe if something like this does happen. So.
Any other questions? Alderwoman Smith?
Yeah, Jason, thank you for updating us and giving us this information. Have we had a leak like this in the past?
Not on a line like this, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times if it's a smaller line, you can just pull the pipe right out of the casing and put a new one in, and you're in and out in a couple of days. But
Not to this measure?
no, not to this measure. Yeah, this is the one. We keep a close eye on this specific main just because of the amount of water that it distributes throughout the system, and it goes through a lot of areas that it goes under tracks, it goes through the forest preserve, so there's a lot of opportunities for it to leak, and luckily we were able to find this one and identify where it was pretty quickly.
Thank you.
Alderman Nunez?
When you do take it out of service, how do you bypass it?
So we'll just use the standard, the regular part of the system. There are, the transmission main interconnects with the regular system in a number of different points. So it's just it's a matter of closing this valve,
Rerouting.
opening this valve. Yeah, so it's basically kind of forcing more water down to the southeast area that this would normally have served. And again, that's why it's nice that it's happening when we're not in, high demand.
Gotcha. Appreciate it.
I mean, the contractors won't enjoy digging when it's, 10 degrees out, but.
Alderman Masiacos?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate the update as well. It's a 35-year-old line. You said 91, right?
Yes.
Is there a reason to think about maybe putting a secondary line underneath there as well?
I mean, we could definitely look at it. It's more a matter of, juggling all the different costs that the water fund has to absorb. I mean, it'd be great to have a redundant line that goes the entire distance of this one. We could definitely look at what it would take to do redundant lines. But again, we do have the ability to bypass for a moderate amount of time. But yeah, if we were to go to every railroad crossing that we have, we'd be looking at a very large number to put those
Okay.
redundant lines in. But yeah, it's a good idea, for sure.
The other thing, too, as you said about bypassing IT and COW, I know you come to IT pretty much religiously.
Yep.
So I think it'd be appreciative, and I think the chairwoman would also agree to give us updates as this goes along until it's
Yeah.
completed at INT as well.
Yeah, we can definitely come and give you guys just a non-decision type presentation
Just
at the
let us
next
know where
INT
you're at.
right before that council meeting, for sure.
Just see how your milestones are going.
Yeah.
That'd be appreciated.
Yeah, and it would be the next INT meeting, because we're hoping to bring the contract for this lining to council 2 weeks from today.
Yeah,
So
all right.
we can catch you guys 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay. Anything else for Jason? Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just a few other things. I think most of the council will be attending the ACA Gala, but we've also got a MLK celebration coming up at East High on the 19th, if you haven't already received that invitation. And then on January 20th, you'll be getting an invitation for the opening for the CEJA Workforce Development Hub. We've taken 649 South River Street, which is our old water and sewer building, and are creating a multi-entity partnership to create a training program largely funded by DCEO and a CEJA Workforce Development Hub. So it'll be a time, there's going to be a lot of agenda items coming through over time, including the lease for that facility. And it would be a time to come and attend. I haven't really talked to corporate counsel about how to ask and answer questions if we're all in attendance at a public event discussing future events, but it'll be very informative and a time to sort of see the bigger picture about where we're going and what we plan to do with that facility over the next coming years. So if we haven't already sent that out, I'll make sure that it gets out tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay. Concludes the mayor's report. We'll move to mayoral appointments. I'll ask the clerk to please read the first item on the agenda.
251018, a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Zaira Chavez and Rafael Martinez to the Aurora Hispanic Heritage Advisory Board.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Smith, second by Alderwoman Garza. Are there any questions or discussions regarding this resolution? There being no further questions, will the clerk please call the roll?
Barrero?
Yes.
Garza?
Yes.
Masiacos?
Yes.
Nunez?
Yes.
Franco?
Yes.
Seville?
Yes.
Benuelos?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Bug?
Yes.
Spade?
Yes.
Larson?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
12 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. This resolution is adopted. I'll ask clerk to please read the next agenda item and next appointment.
251019, a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Zachary Bishop and Frederick Llanos to the Aurora LGBTQ Advisory
So
Board.
moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Smith, second by Alderwoman Garza. Are there any questions or discussions on this agenda item? Alderman Masiacos?
No, ready to vote.
Nope. Okay. No further questions. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Barrero?
Yes.
Garza?
Yes.
Masiacos?
Yes.
Nunez?
Yes.
Franco?
Yes.
Seville?
Yes.
Benuelos?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Bug?
Yes.
Spade?
Yes.
Larson?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
12 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. This resolution is adopted. And then I'll ask clerk to read the final appointments.
251020, a resolution authorizing the appointment of Ella Falstrom to the African American Heritage Advisory Board.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Smith, second by Alderwoman Garza. Any questions or discussions? Hearing none, I'll ask clerk to please call the roll.
Barrero?
Yes.
Garza?
Yes.
Masiacos?
Yes.
Nunez?
Yes.
Franco?
Yes.
Seville?
Yes.
Benuelos?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Bug?
Yes.
Spade?
Yes.
Larson?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
12 yes, 0 no.
Okay. Next I'll ask is Zachary Bishop, Frederick Llanos, Ella Falstrom, Zaira Chavez, or Rafael Martinez here tonight? Come on up. We'll take a quick photo. Oreo, hop in. Thanks for your service. I want to thank all of our members. The rest of them, will make sure to get them their certificates and send out a press release acknowledging their service. The next we'll move to public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public wishing to offer public comment?
We do.
Okay, outstanding. Will you please read the rules of public comment?
Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, all persons shall be permitted an opportunity to address public officials under the rules established and recorded by the council. Under our rules, any person may address the city council for up to 3 minutes with a maximum of 30 minutes allotted for all public comment. No person other than the timekeeper or the chair for the purpose of maintaining order may interrupt a person recognized for public comment during his or her comments. Members of the city council shall not engage with nor respond to a speaker during the time set aside for public comment. Staff is directed to follow up with members of the public with respect to any concerns raised during public comment within the scope of the city's authority following the adjournment of this meeting.
Thank you. I'll next ask the clerk to please read the name of the first person wishing to offer public comment.
Manuel Fernando Cardoza.
Welcome, Mr. Cardoza. You can take either microphone and adjust it to the height you desire. Your 3 minutes begins now.
City and honorable members, I come here to comment and address my concerns when it comes to the street roads during the winter, more specifically when it snows. As many of us know, when there's heavy snow, the snow trucks come out to shovel it with their plows. Many of these roads end up half clear due to many of the cars still occupying the streets, which causes a wall of snow, then thick ice that covers the driveway when it melts. Best course of action to make sure the roads stay clear would be to ticket any parked cars which are not off the road in their driveways or yard, excluding the ones that aren't able to. To make sure such an action is fair, I believe the city should allow people to park their cars on their own yard all year around. For some reason, giving a ticket to somebody's car parked on their own yard is allowed, but tickets are rarely given to cars that are not off the road during the heavy snowfall. People pay taxes. The very least the city could do would be to allow people to do as they please with their own land. Another thing I like to address would be how centralized the city is. Again, in the recent election, nearly over 11,000 people voted. Nearly 11,000 out of nearly 53,000, which is including the non-registered adult voters. If you were to include them, then the number of estimated for those who did not vote could be up to nearly 70,000 or more. If you go by the lowest population estimates of 175,000, it would be only 6.22% of the population voted, when it should be estimated 40%. This is why unifying the people of Aurora is important to ensure the election is done by a majority instead of a small few. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Cordoza. I'll ask the clerk to please read the name of the next person wishing to offer public comment.
Sun Knight.
Welcome, Sanyet. You have 3 minutes beginning now.
Okay. Here to oppose the increase the property taxes on residents of Illinois. Why are Aurora residents seeing a higher property tax bills? Did the Aurora residents create the lost revenue? Did we mismanage or did we steal the money? So why do we have to be punished? You increase the property tax. We oppose the property tax increase because the city should do a better budget management or find another alternative funding mechanisms for public services. The mayor of Aurora should control spending rather than raising taxes on the residents. The mayor is punishing Aurora residents and deterring investments. The city of Aurora has sufficient revenue. The city of Aurora needs a tax relief, not a tax increase. Illinois homeowners bear one of the highest property tax burdens in the U.S., which strains household budgets and reduces home ownerships. Residents will move to other cities where there is less property taxes. Why people are forced out of their homes they already bought, paid for, and reside due to taxation. This is not the American dream, this is the American nightmare. People worked 30 years to pay off the mortgage. They should not have to pay property taxes. Why is the owner lose his property after mortgage is paid off? Because he cannot afford paying your property tax. Why are you taxing the property? The owner rightfully owns his own property. Property tax is like paying rent to the city. We don't want to pay rent to the city. Poor people spend higher percentage of their income in their housing, paying mortgages. It's unfair for low-income residents to increase taxes. They might lose their property because of taxation. They cannot afford to pay tax. Also, new taxes on a wealthy people is not good for the economy. The property tax should be abolished in Illinois or in Aurora, Illinois. Property tax is not acceptable because it's not based on a person's current life circumstances. The tax will increase independently. Our ability to pay tax is not a factor. Aurora residents cannot afford to pay the new property tax that you put on. So the property owners will be forced to use appeals and exemptions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. I'll ask clerk to please read the name of the next person wishing to offer public comment.
Laura Evans.
Welcome to choose either side.
This one looks lower.
Welcome, Ms. Evans. You have 3 minutes beginning now.
Okay. In 2 months, the moratorium on the data centers will be coming up. So I would like to make sure that everything is being considered. It seems like the moratorium's in place, and as a resident, I'm not hearing much going on. I looked on the website, and the Aurora website says they're looking for community input to help shape the new policies. I would like to volunteer. There's no information on where to sign up, what to do, what to go forward, and I would like to do that. So, and I know this is just me talking. So something else I wanted to clarify too. So that is something I'd like to look into. I also noticed that it's being reported that we have only 4 data centers in Aurora. Well, there's 2 behind us on Deal. There's 2 more off of Bilter, and there's at least 1 on Meridian Parkway. And as far as I can tell, that's the only ones. There's at least 5, and they're all in Ward 10, which I'm really surprised that there's not more consideration from everybody in the other wards about how Ward 10 is being affected, because Ward 10 is really being affected, especially in our neighborhood. So with the transparency and everything, with the efforts with the city, our communities, our neighborhoods, we would like to be more involved, considered more a part of this, and we want to make sure that the moratorium, when it does come up, that everything is being looked at and that our input is being looked at and considered as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. I'm going to ask the Assistant Chief of Staff to please get her contact information so we can find a way to get her engaged. Okay, that concludes the public comment section of the meeting. Next, we'll hear both the consent agenda and the direct-to-council consent agenda in full. Will the clerk please read both agendas at this time?
250996, an ordinance amending section 25-267 regarding applications and fees for tattoo and body piercing establishments. 251059, a resolution approving the appointment of Lucas Datara as Superintendent of Facilities Maintenance. 251030, approval of the minutes of the Tuesday, December 9th, 2025 City Council meeting. 251039, approval of the minutes of the Tuesday, December 16th, 2025 City Council meeting.
So moved.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the items, both direct to council consent and consent agenda as read? A motion was made by Alderman Franco, seconded by Alderman Seville. There being no further questions or members wishing to remove an item, will the clerk please call the roll on both consent agendas?
Barrero?
Yes.
Garza?
Yes.
Masiacos?
Yes.
Nunez?
Yes.
Franco?
Yes.
Seville?
Yes.
Benuelos?
Yes.
Smith? Bug?
Yes.
Spade?
Yes.
Larson?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
12 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. The consent agenda and the direct to council consent agenda are both approved. Congratulations and welcome aboard, Lucas. Next, we will have unfinished business about the OnLight issue, and because both Alderman Larson and myself are on the committee for OnLight, we will both recuse ourselves from the meeting, and I'll ask Pro Tem Mayor Alderman Seville to take the gavel.
Please read it.
250987, a resolution authorizing an advance of $80,000 to OnLight Aurora for operational support.
So moved.
Motion been made by Alderman Franco. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by Alderman Masiacos. Is there going to be any staff report on this?
Brian Caputo, Chief Operating Officer. I think we covered it pretty well at the committee of the whole meeting, but I would be available to answer any questions that you may have to follow up. There was some other information that I sent to the council answering some questions that came back. And we have the volunteer director here as well.
Okay, great. Thank you for attending again meeting. Is there any questions from the city council on either person here before us? Alderwoman Smith?
So initially, I was very hesitant to support this initiative simply because it has been presented as basically a black hole. And we've kind of tried to avoid the black hole because we just went through a very bad budget system. But as I've learned more, I see that there could be some good. If we can get this under control, there could be some good outcome here, possibly. So I'm hoping before you have to come back again, we have some better news on possible revenue generating and additional customers. So today I will be supporting this with hesitation in hopes that we can make this into a positive functioning business that will benefit our city. I do believe we can, but I think unfortunately for you, there's a lot of work to go into it before that happens. So.
Alderman Bade?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I think there was one outstanding question last time. Will this be considered as a grant or a loan?
I don't think we have an answer to that question fully even yet. We still have to go through our strategic planning process, which is scheduled, I think, for next week or later this week. That will be when we start to sort out what might be realistically possible. So that I've phrased this as an advance because that's yet to be determined. To be completely clear, there are so many financial obligations out there with OnLight right now. We're just trying to deal with those that are the most pressing with this advance.
And also, are we actively looking to get more board members?
I'm not sure I'm in a position to answer that one. I'm sorry. Do you have Austin?
Austin Fitzcorbett, volunteer directorate over at OnLight. The answer is yes. It's difficult given its current position to find current board members, but we are actively searching. I've provided notices on social media as well as the OnLight website asking for those who are interested to reach out, and we have had multiple interested parties.
Could you please share it with the aldermen too, so we can also publicize it?
Absolutely.
From
Thank you.
any of our boards. Just because there might be some decisions that are hard to make with just 3 board members, so.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alderman. Alderwoman, I will.
Thank you.
Can I ask legal a question?
Alderman Smith?
If a quorum, if the board members are 7 and the quorum is 4, how are we making decisions with 3?
Sorry, making sure my mic was on. That is an issue for OnLight. I agree, it's an issue.
So I think I'm going to go back to my initial statement then. The hesitation even gets a little stronger than to support this, and I will today. But I think we need to be in a better spot before we come back for more money, because quite frankly, it's really uncomfortable as an alderman to say yes to finance something or provide funds for something when we're being told that it might be a loan and it might be a grant. I don't spend my own money that way, that it might be, I might be loaning somebody something and I might be getting it back, but I might not. So this is a really tough spot for us to be in to make this decision. So we're doing this, making this decision, those of us who choose to go forward with a lot of faith. So.
Alderwoman Smith, maybe I might comment that I know that OnLight would prefer not to be asking for this money. We would prefer not to be asking you to give OnLight this money. I think to maybe use some of Alderman Bugg's phraseology from last week, that this is our asset, the fiber that's in the ground, and this organization is administering it for us. So our task is going to be to come up with a a plan that hopefully makes this self-sustaining, which I think is what you're looking for, what we're all looking for.
Anything more you want to add, Austin?
No, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Brian, anything more you want to add?
No, sir.
Any further discussion? Alderman Masiacos?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Dr. Pudo, has there been discussion about potentially creating an ad hoc committee with a definitive purpose, definition and purpose?
Committee of
Aldermen.
I'm not aware of any discussion along those lines. And I guess I would wonder if that we might be blurring the lines of governance with that organization. To do that, I'd have to defer either our general counsel or a counsel with OnLight to answer that definitively.
Because this seems to be falling into a situation where we definitely have an issue that requires more focus and investigation, perhaps maybe beyond the specific committee. So yeah, I would appreciate some insight from our legal counsel.
I guess the question would be, what would the ad hoc committee be tasked with?
In other words, how close would the city council be getting to the operations of OnLight?
So there's a difference between if the city council is taking a look at the city's asset as we own it, and I mean, it's our fiber, right? So, to the extent that the city council is involved in that makes perfect sense. To the extent that the city council is getting involved in the contracts or finances of OnLight, I would caution creating an ad hoc committee for from the city council to do that. So I'm not sure. Because?
Why would there be caution?
Maybe, Alderman, if you could give us an opportunity to go back and study this one to see if that makes would move the ball forward.
To be honest with you, I just thought about it right here at the dais. I mean, I would have approached you beforehand, but since we're talking about it, and there's also, it actually came up because of discussion with the commentary from Alderman Smith here too about caution, trying to understand where we're really at. And I thought about what you said last week when you were here at COW, and that was creating a group to have a discussion and to formulate how we're going to move forward. And especially since there's not a full committee on as well. Add OnLight also, I mean, is there some gray area that maybe the aldermen need to step in and also participate in this? I think the aldermen can understand dollars and cents too, but that's not, ultimately, that's not the core, I think, mission here.
We do have the mayor and one alderman on the board, so there's representation there. I think we'd have to go back and study it to figure out what.
But I think the real, the devil's in the details here. So I guess I would need a better understanding of what the committee is. An ad hoc committee for, I'm not sure I'm clear on what the purpose would be.
Well, I don't want to start getting into details we've already discussed. I don't know how far we want to go with those. We've had some private meetings.
That's why I think Dr. Caputo is saying we have to. I think it would be a good idea to give it some thought and regroup. I'm not saying that it's a bad idea. I think there are things that, from the city's perspective, that are worth considering, and perhaps considering just from the city's perspective, such as we have this asset. What do we want to, how do we want to manage it? But that's, that might be separate from the discussion of, specifically the contracts with OnLight.
Well, I'm not going to speak for the chairman, but I know we've talked, I'm sorry, the Mayor Pro Tem, but there have been ad hoc committees in the past, haven't there not?
There have been, but the one thing that brings to mind is if we have more aldermen participating, then when it comes time to actually vote, and if need be, then there'd be more aldermen abstaining and leaving the room for discussion and the like. So I think your Dana's response regarding the what we'll be tasked with is an important one component of what the mission is and what the goal is, and then we can form an opinion other than that. and go forward accordingly.
I do understand the council's concern about protecting its interests, absolutely, the city's interests. I think we need to study the matter of the governance of OnLight versus the governance of the city, and how we align those, given that we already have 2 elected officials on the board of OnLight.
And as we can all recognize, it is a very important issue to get this back on track and fulfill its mission, which is to implement our fiber optic that we have expended monies on in the city for the benefit of the people that need it, and for the benefit of our goal of connecting Aurora and those businesses as well as our buildings that need it. So this is an important issue that has need to have serious discussion, and I'm glad it seems to be we're on track. And I am concerned as well that, as Alderman Smith's saying, will you be back for more? And I know you're getting into it now, and hopefully with the appointment of new board members and the like, you can move forward with a quorum. But I think that's one of your first tasks that needs to be undertaken as well. So, Alderman Masiakas, you had something else you wanted to say?
No, but if you have two council members already on the board, you already have 2 members of the ad hoc committee. Just a matter of figuring out if you want 3 or 4 or 5. I think the rest of them can take care of the situation. Saying it moves forward with an ad hoc committee, I don't think that's going to be a major issue. Moving forward with that, I think it's workable.
Well, depending on what the ad hoc committee is tasked with, I
Yeah,
don't know that
absolutely,
it
of
would be
course.
appropriate to have the same, to have OnLight board members on the ad hoc committee, but it would, I mean, I could, there's a real potential for conflict there.
Where I expect the strategic plan exercise to go is that we're certainly going to try to chart out the future operational course of OnLight, but at the same time, there's a major financial component that goes along with it, so that gives you some idea of the level that we'll be operating at with that group.
Alderman Franco?
I have no comment on which way we go on this. I don't know, because you guys don't know. I want you to have your meetings. But when we talk about an ad hoc committee, we have an IT committee. I can't imagine why we wouldn't just send it to them, because it's information technology. This seems like it's right in their wheelhouse. So if we were to go that way, my suggestion would be let them take care of it, because that's what they're supposed to do. But again, I don't know what the legalities are, so I wouldn't even want to comment on that at this point. But if we were to go that way, we already have a committee set up for that. So,
Alderman Bogg?
Thank you. I appreciate my colleague's comment. The way this is set up, we have to be very careful. The city has to keep at arm's length OnLight, which is a nonprofit. So we cannot overtake the instruction or the authority of OnLight. And it's kind of the way the rules are set up in Springfield. Once you start to overreach or lend your authority over that, it doesn't go well. Let's just put it that way. So right now we're trying to set at bay some of the people who need to get paid, their interest paid, and the city needs to stay at arm's length away from OnLight in that transaction. So it's kind of the reason we're set up in the board. The city has 2 board members. The other members are from the residents and from the region and that level of expertise. But I think it would be a mistake to go any further. Alderman Franco, I mean, that's, IT just to discuss things, but not to have authority or to have any type of decision-making over them. That's the reason OnLight has their own board. So, yeah, I would be very hesitant to go down this path of creating some other type of committee or some other type of thing to oversee or have authority over online.
Alderman Masiacos.
Thank you. There's nothing formal being provided here yet. I don't understand why there is maybe hesitation about doing it, because the whole idea of an ad hoc committee is to have a focused work-like investigation, purpose-driven. It's always temporary. We have someone, I mean, I'm not trying to say this needs to happen, but for example, someone like Alderman Bade, who does have some level of IT background, who can be involved in some type of a committee like that, whether it's a combination of aldermen and maybe non-city employees of some kind with some level of expertise, because you've already just probably thinking about hiring some professionals too to get involved as well, right?
It's possible.
Okay, it's possible. So there's a lot of things that are out there right now, and this thing has to move very quickly. So again, back to what our legal counsel said, it all depends on what definition the purpose is. And it all stems back again to what Alderman Smith said about our concerns. Approving it, but what are we approving, and what's the purpose? What are we really defining about how we're moving forward, what we found? I know we've had, again, discussions with the mayor's office in separate meetings, if not individually. It's hard to talk about that as well right here at the dais. I know there's information that doesn't want to come out, but like I said, I think now's the time to talk about these things right now, because things are fast moving from what I'm gathering at this point, or they will be after today. And these types of pocket change approvals are going to keep coming. It's not going to end. So having some confidence and clarity for the aldermen, so we could have and express that with the community, I think is very important. But that's where I'm coming from.
If it helps the council, what we can do is we could come back and talk about what happened in our first meeting in general terms and what the plan forward is. And at the same time, we would take a look at whether or not having, from that governance standpoint, whether it's appropriate to have City of Aurora elected officials more deeply involved than they already are. I just be real careful about that without having to investigate what it means. I understand the kind of the feeling that there's a lot at stake here. We get it, but at the same time, we've got certain guidelines we probably going to have to respect.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not looking to hold up this resolution, but I really do think this conversation needs to keep going. There's communications always and discussions always are very important. So I want to put it on the table. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, thank you, Alderman Masiacos. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Barrero?
Yes.
Garza?
Yes.
Masiacos?
Yes.
Nunez?
No.
Franco? Yes.
Seville?
Yes.
Benuelos?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Bug?
Yes.
Bade?
No.
White?
Yes.
9 yes, 2 no.
Okay, the resolution is adopted. We'll ask the mayor to enter the room.
Thank you.
Yes. And Alderman Lash. I'm sorry. What did I say? Oh, did I say? Larson, sorry.
Okay, next we'll move to new business. Is there a motion to suspend the rules to consider items under new business?
Second.
Motion was made by Alderwoman Smith, second by Alderman Seville. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Barrero?
Yes.
Garza?
Yes.
Masiacos?
Yes.
Nunez?
Yes.
Franco?
Yes.
Seville?
Yes.
Benuelos?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Bug?
Yes.
Bade?
Yes.
Larson?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
12 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. I'll ask clerk to please read the one and only item under new business.
25-1004, a resolution authorizing the divestment and sale of city-owned properties located at 930 and 932 West New York.
Is there a motion to approve the well, we probably want a short presentation.
Your Honor, if you can approve right away. You don't.
Go ahead and give us a little background, Patrick, and
Good evening, Assistant Corporation Counsel Patrick Collins, here today with this agenda item. There are 2 single-family homes on this property. As you know, the city has several different properties throughout the city that we've been marketing. This one we've put out. This developer has built, in 2024, they completed a home, so I checked with property standards. They had no issues when they were developing. They've also provided, it's an all-cash offer. They provided proof of funds. If this goes through, the city will no longer have to maintain the property, and both properties will be returned to the tax rolls. Construction will be starting in the spring as soon as they can attain the permits and approvals. If you have any questions, happy to field those.
So moved.
question by Alderman Seville.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The 2 homes that are given to us, an example, it shows a front view only, and it shows a single-family garage. Is that correct?
Those are samples. That is a sample that he provided from the home that they built in 2004.
Okay.
That is a similar design to what he will do. He will still have to meet all of the plans for that location. I know with the driveway, the 2-car driveway, as well as the off-street parking as well.
Yeah, 2-car garage and 2-car drive. Okay.
I've spoken with the builder. He's aware of that.
Okay.
I asked him to provide us some samples so we could at least kind of see the workmanship that he has done in the
And
past.
do we know what type of home is he building? Is it a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-bath, basement, anything like that?
I don't believe they're a basement. I do not know how many. It will be a single-family home on both of them.
Do we have any control once we do this as to what's going to be built there?
It would have to go through zoning still, right?
Well, not zoning. It would have to go through building and permits. It would still be a multi-family, or I'm sorry, multi-bedroom, single-family home. That is his intention. That's his plan. That's what he previously built.
Do we need any conditions to make sure that that information is being, the ward alderman is the 5th ward or 4th ward? 4th ward? Have you had any input or discussion about this, Alderman Nunez?
Yes, Patrick and I had a conversation over the holiday break, I believe it
Yeah,
was.
right before that. Yep.
And I asked questions around the type of building, single-family home, which he confirmed, the builder's experience building in Aurora, and I felt comfortable with what was shared.
You do, and the layout of the future homes, you know, in terms of square feet and all that?
Yep.
Okay.
Alderwoman Smith.
Yes, so Patrick, on the property details, this is city property, right?
Correct.
Then how come on the agreement, the city doesn't show up as being the seller? If you look at the last page of the agreement, an agreement I am very well versed in, by the way.
Oh, that is the listing agent that we have on there. So this is in order for us to get it on the MLS. We are it is city-owned property, but we are using eXp Realty Chris McGarry.
I understand that, but our name is
MLS.
not on this information at all. You also, the seller's information should be on here, and it's not. You've got the seller being, it's seller brokerage, the seller agent, but then it doesn't have who's actually selling the property on here at all.
It's just blank.
It's just blank.
Which is fine. In order for, in the resolution, you're authorizing the mayor, the mayor's designee, the treasurer, or a corporation
And
counsel.
how did we find this real estate agent?
He'd been referred to us through the real estate attorney that we are using, Jeff McElroy.
Okay.
He's been the last 4 or 5. I mean, he gave us the best rate as well. We contacted 3 or 4 different ones. He gave us the best rate.
And what was his rate?
His name is Chris McGarry.
No, his rate. It should be on there.
It's a flat fee in order for us to get on the MLS.
It says 2.5%. There's no commissions on any of this. We're not actually approving this contract. This is just the dollar amount to sell it. We're not, okay. So it's difficult when you put a contract in front of us and you say we're not approving this contract.
Correct. It's all in the resolution. In the resolution, it outlines the contract is his offer for on the 2 different properties. $30,000 each. We're not approving this contract. The contract will have to be edited. It's more the dollar amount. That's why we bring it direct here to council, so there isn't any going back and forth negotiating or haggling on
Okay,
it.
I follow your logic, but is it stated in the information that we're not following the contract?
I believe it's in the resolution, yes.
Is it, that states in the resolution that we are not following this contract? It's been written?
No, it's stated that the mayor, his designee, the treasurer, or the corporation council is authorized to execute any other additional documents in order to complete this transaction.
Why did we add the document if it's not, we're not following it? Why do we have the agreement in here if it's not being followed?
The gentleman made the offer. This is the sample of the offer. Additionally, in there, that's why there's the photos are there. We didn't put the proof of funds in there either. There was.
Okay. Maybe if we could put sample across the front of this legal document that's in here that we're not approving, but yet we're being asked for approval. I know we're not approving the contract, but we're being asked to sell the property. The way I look at this as a real estate agent is this is part of the documentation that we are approving today, but yet you're saying we're not approving it. This is a sample, an example. So perhaps it should have been written across example or something, because I look at this as.
I believe that's all in the resolution.
Patrick, what we're voting on is the resolution, correct?
Yes. Correct.
And what you're saying is that you've got a sample of what the houses may look like.
Correct.
And a sample of the contract of sale.
Correct. This is
And,
here for the approval of the dollar amount. We cannot move.
Correct.
We cannot proceed forward without city council approval on the dollar amount.
Thank you.
I don't disagree with that. I just think if we're going to use something as a sample, we should stamp across it sample, because this is it's not signed, so it's not legal. This is a legal document. This real estate documents.
Understood. Alderman Seville.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Do we have any history of this property? I mean, how did the city acquire it? When? Why? What was the city intention back in the day? And
I do not have any of the history of it. The little bit that I do have, this used to be one parcel that we have then separated into two separate
that
parcels.
one up.
Is a similar size that's to the rest of the other homes and lots in the neighborhood. I can ask Mr. Curley if he has any other information in the historical background. This is part of the divestment group that we've had that we've been.
So you're right.
since
So the
2016.
council knows we have a divestment group that includes a multi-department look at each and every property. So we're not putting something on the market that economic development might have a plan for. We meet monthly. You can talk about it at length, and there's a long list of properties that we've been working to divest. Some, of course, need work and special deals, and some of them, like this, we're able to relieve as a burden on the city relatively easily.
Right. Hi, John Curley, Chief Development Services Officer. I do have some answers, Alderman Seville, but not all of everything you asked for. Last I recall, there was a residence on 2 legal lots, and I do not recall what happened. I vaguely recall it may have been a fire, but I need to research that. I wasn't prepared to talk about this. So my recollection is there's 2 legal lots there. I do not recall why we came into ownership of it either. We can research that and get back to you. But under the committee that we've been working on, we have been working for 2.5 years probably to collect all of the city-owned properties that we're not doing anything with per se, and as Patrick mentioned, that we are paying to maintain, to ascertain whether or not those properties might have value on the open market, and then determine which of those properties make sense to list and sell, and or some of them may need consolidation, reconfiguration of lots to make them legal conforming from non-conforming lots. So we've been a big process to deal with a lot of city-owned properties like this. This particular one, again, my recollection is 1 owner, 2 lots with a structure, and I do not recall why we came into ownership of it.
I think I can only speak, of course, for myself. It would be helpful for me if we could get a history of this lot. If if we get a photo of it, if we could get like a zoning map and have that photo outlined in it, and just really have more details and what they're going to build and the like. If we're asking for a property that we own to be sold, no matter whose ward it is, I like to know what's going in there myself, and more details so I can feel comfortable about making a decision about selling it and then having it developed with, I have no knowledge about. There's really not a lot of information in here that I can really feel comfortable with to take a positive vote for me tonight. So if we've got all these properties, like you say, that we're being reviewed, and that's a good thing, just in the future, I think we need more details.
Understood.
So.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, but
real quick, Patrick, if we were to delay this, is that we're gonna lose the seller? Or do we have time to work on this? I know we brought it direct to council. They have an agreement. They've made an offer, and it's not particularly easy to get rid of these properties.
Yeah, I mean, we have an appraisal on this property. This is either at or above the appraisal price value. This was the system that we had put in place to bring these to city council direct in order so these property owners could move the property along. This was what we were tasked with, to unload the city-owned properties that have been sitting vacant. This one's been vacant for years, is my understanding. We took the steps in order to separate the properties so we could put them on the market. We're paying money to put this out on the market. That's why we brought it here, in order to move the sale forward.
Well, I appreciate that, but like I say, I just don't feel that I have enough information that I can feel comfortable with to move forward on it.
Would it be helpful to pull it up on the screen if we could get communications to pull up 930 and 932 West
I'd like to do
New York and take a look
well,
at
that
it
would
from
be helpful, but
Google overhead. I've looked at it multiple times. So
I would still like the history of it. I mean, I'm sure we can research it to find out what the history was and what the original intent of this. We can even call the previous ward alderman. I'm thinking that they're going to know what's going on. And I just kind of wondering, we acquired it. I don't remember, because this wasn't in my ward, as to why we did that. So that's all I'm saying. Especially in the future going forward with if the intent is to divest ourselves of other properties, just give us more information, that's all.
So I've taken some feedback that we can include sample on things that are samples, and certainly putting I don't think it would be too difficult to put together a drawing that shows the lot lines and so forth, and a Google overhead map, which I think.
And Mr. Mayor, I have a concern.
John,
once we
put that, is that, what is that, 930 or 930 and 932?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then my concern is, once we sell it, what is the control? How do we know they're going to build? There's no time frame as to what they're going to build and when or ever.
Well, we know they're building a single-family home, and they would have to bring a plan forward to building and permits. There's no, is it 2 lots, or is it one that's already combined?
It's 2 lots.
Okay, so there's no change to make it one through planning and zoning?
Correct. This one did not require that. That's correct.
Okay.
The city actually went and separated it. We took the steps preemptively in order to do it, so there would be 2 developable single-family homes.
Okay, so, Mr. Mayor, we have to go back to my question, because you've totally blew me off with no answer, so I really don't appreciate that, although you gave Alderman Seville complete and full time and answers. I may be wrong with my questioning, my line of questioning. I'm happy to say if I am wrong.
It was my understanding you wanted the word sample added to the contract.
Well, if you would have allowed me to finish instead of cut me off, no one said that would occur. It's just that we have a contract in front of us, and we're being told it's not really a contract. And I tried to just quickly look in the resolution. I don't see where it states that the contract's not valid. I'm not trying to oppose this item. I'm just saying, we have a contract in front of us, and then to be told it's not a valid contract, then why is it there? I just want an answer to it. I'm not trying to oppose the whole thing. I just don't appreciate being cut off when I'm trying to get an answer to a question. It's just not kind.
I think what he's saying, though, is that, I'll let you say it again, we're voting on the resolution itself, and that these are samples. Is that accurate?
Correct. This is that the offer is for $30,000 for each lot. The resolution specifically authorizes the mayor, his designee, the treasurer, and corporation counsel to execute any other remaining documents in order to execute the actual transfer and sale of the property.
And that's stated in this resolution right now?
Correct.
That I'm looking at.
Yes.
Can you tell me where?
Would have to look, but I believe it's the.
Section 2 and 3?
Yeah.
And I think it's perfectly fine to add the word sample in the future. That's not a problem.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry to give you a hard time. I just would like to have finished my statement and get my answers, and my questions answered. So I appreciate the extra time to get that done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion, Alderwoman Bade?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. After the sale of the property, so this will not come to BZNE, Planning and Zoning and BZNE?
Nope.
It'll,
Well, the planning and zoning it may come to depending on the actual permitting and approval process, but through committee for the approval of the sale of this property will not.
not the sale, but the construction part.
Yes,
It'll go through normal process.
yes, everything will go through the
Plan and
normal
everything
process.
will go to Planning and Zoning and then BZNE and then,
Correct.
yeah, committee.
Yes.
So thank you for clarification.
Any other questions, Alderman White?
Thanks, Mayor. So I do have questions about, being that the city does own this property, we do have some control over who we sell it to and what's being built there. And it is one-story home. So if we approve this and it moves forward with, and they go through building and permits, will there be discussion about energy efficient homes, renewable energy? Would that be a part of the discussion in building and permits or not?
Well, we did not have that as a provision of the contract, so there would not be additional items that needed to be complied with, but they would have to comply with the state energy code, which just got updated, so that it'd be the 21 energy, or actually 24 IECC code, which was just adopted by the state in November.
Okay.
And I have put the builder in contact with Allison in
Oh,
sustainability.
perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Whether that comes to anything, they've at least been connected.
I think the connection makes sense, so I appreciate that.
And on that front, just so you're aware, we were actually, I think, Sunday night working with the Neighbor Project, and we've been pushing a lot of these properties out with hopes that they'll adopt more stringent energy efficient buildings. They were looking for some opportunities, and I had this one on there, and Shannon said, we have to take it off because we just sold it, so. But we are looking in that direction. We're trying to use some of our irregular lots that the city owns as unique opportunities for Habitat or another builder to do some infill. And at that level, the city would be a participant, and you would have a lot more control, and we would have a bigger say, and you would be getting a lot more detail. But for now, we're just selling to a investor of some sort or a builder.
He's a builder who's built previous homes in the city before. So he's experienced with the system. He knows how it works.
Okay. And I did take the feedback. I think Alderwoman Smith's feedback on the sample is fine in the future, and we'll try and give a little more information as far as what it is, what the lot looks like, and so forth. Do you feel good with this, Alderman Nunez?
I do. If I recall correctly, I believe this used to be a 4-unit on this lot that was later torn down by the city. I don't want to throw that out there as 100% facts, but if you want to look into that. We have 2 lots that are empty. They're looking to build 2 beautiful homes with experience already dealing with the city. The homes align with the overall design of that neighborhood, so it's not going to be like a McMansion in the middle of nowhere or anything like that. And with all that said, I mean, I feel comfortable moving forward.
Any further questions or discussion? There was a motion made by Alderman Franco to approve. Is there a second?
Second. Got it.
Second by Alderman Masiacos. Okay, there's no further questions. Sorry, Alderman Spill.
Again, I understand and appreciate to hear from the fourth ward Alderman Nunez, and understand totally about his comfort level. My concern is sometimes streets are paved with good intentions, and there's no mechanism to hold their feet to the fire on this. They could decide in a month from now that they're not going to build now, and now they own the property. There's no conditions that this is going to move forward in a manner that Alderman Nunez expects and anticipates and desires. I'd like to hold this off for 2 more weeks to get more conditions and more information in here to make sure that they do what they tell us they're going to do for the benefit of our neighbors and the people that are going to be owning the property and the like. So I'd like to hold this off for 2 weeks. I'll make that motion.
Well, I mean, this isn't a redevelopment agreement. I don't know what conditions we can put on the property. The property will go back onto the tax rolls regardless if they build or not. The city is spending between $700 to $1,000 per lot that we own and maintain to cut the grass on a yearly basis. That will immediately be transferred to them upon sale. If they don't build, they're still sitting on lots where they're paying property taxes and then having to maintain the property.
No, I understand, but is that our intent, just to get rid of it, and we don't care what's going to happen on it? You're showing us these really nice pictures of these 2 homes and building some level of expectation here. Now you're saying it doesn't matter?
No, it absolutely does matter. His intention is to build.
I know that's an intention, but his intention can change the day after closing.
Same with any real estate transaction.
I know, so why don't we want to control? Because it's our property and it's not negative to the neighborhood right now.
But I think that the issue is that it's not as a condition of sale, we can't, you're asking for us to put some sort of like restrictive covenant on the property, and there's some serious limitations to that. Additionally, the sale price that's been negotiated on this property does not include any of those restrictions. So, in the future, I think that can be a discussion, but I don't know that holding this item at this point to put strings on the sale, I don't know that that's something that we, I'm not gonna, I just want to, I don't want to negotiate against us, but I think that it's an issue because this is not a development agreement. It's a sale agreement.
John, have we ever done any of this in the past where we've conditioned it outside of making it a single family home? And what control do we have through building and permits?
Well, the building and permit process is going to ensure that it meets all of our ordinances, covenants, zoning regulations, like it would any for the zoning type that it is. So, and we do that, all the time, thousands of times a year. So that will happen. I believe I recall some restrictions added to properties in the past, but it's been a long time and I can't remember all of the details, to be honest with you. We used to have a program, as an example, that was we were essentially purchasing units or the ability to do units from properties and then recorded deed restrictions after that purchase. So I don't know that it's exactly apples to apples, but I believe something has happened like that in the past. I just don't remember all of the details.
And if somebody bought it but didn't do anything, they didn't mow the grass, we would go out and with property standards and hold them accountable, presumably.
Absolutely, that's correct, yes.
Is there any other environmental remediation or studies that have to be done to the property before they before they build on it?
No, a part of our analysis that we're going through as a group is to look at sites that had reported contamination and deal with that as part of our discovery, and then disclosure or cleanup if it's required to be cleaned up as we would move towards the position that these 2 properties are in. This particular one was a little simpler and closer to being able to bring to market than some of the other ones we're dealing with.
If there's not too much, in the future, would it make sense to try and bring the seller here to share with what their plans are for the property for?
We could bring the seller.
Sorry, the buyer.
The buyer. What we would need to do is we would need to completely remarket these properties. Because what we have listed on the MLS is that we've got a property for sale, you want to come build, come on down. If we're going to now put restrictions on it that you have to build within X amount of dates and times and everything else, that's going to need to be out there from the beginning, not now that you want to buy it, now here are all of our conditions. So we probably would have to take all the properties we currently have on the market off in order to reevaluate them to determine what conditions we would want on each and every single property in order to move each one of them forward for what specific conditions we would be looking for. And I don't think the law department does not, how fast do we want them to build? If they don't build fast enough, what are the repercussions? When would they be the repercussions? Is the property going to come back to the city if they don't build it within a certain period of time? Is the sale price going to change if they don't build within a certain time? If they build a single-family home with 2 bedrooms versus 4 bedrooms, or 1 bedroom, or a 3-car garage versus a 1-car garage. In any one of those different situations, that's the individual property owner's selections on how they want to build. If we're going to remarket them, then that would be a different position we would have to go with the city. We would have to, I think, remarket all of the properties we currently have on the market.
Well, for procedure-wise, Alderman Seville's made a motion to hold it here. Just do you think that's going to delay the sale? You've been in contact with him at all?
I don't, it would depend on any of the other conditions or anything else we're going to put on it. That if
Well, if we put conditions on, then probably. If we don't put conditions on, then
I think
is
any
it
conditions or
going?
anything else, I think would absolutely tank the sale, yes.
Okay. Alderman Bug?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate Alderman Seville's point. When my ward was built, it was built before 2008, and then 2008, of course, we had builders who had property, and the housing market went bust. We had one particular builder, had a lot of lots, and nothing happened to them. They sat empty for a very long time, and we tried to work with them. He felt like it was going to be better financially for him to build somewhere else in the western suburbs than in Aurora, and those lots just sat there. I think unfortunately, it's just part of the real estate game. We could not force that builder to build on those lots. He owned it. This is America. So he could continue to pay the property tax on that property that he owns, but we could not force him to build. We tried to work with him in varying ways, and that was 2008. We are just finishing out that subdivision now. It's not finished yet. So it's a long time, 17 years later. But it's an unfortunate thing, but I don't think you can tell someone you're buying that lot, now you have to put that, whatever that is, there. You have to build that there. We have our set standards. Ms. Basic and her team does a fantastic job. If your plans and drawings don't meet those standards, believe me, they will step up and let you know it, what the standards of the city are. First discussion was about driveways. If your driveway doesn't meet it, Ms. Basic and her team will let you know, and you're going to have to change that. So we definitely have the standards in place for when the builder sends in the plans. And like Alderman Nunez said, you can't go the other direction. You can't build a 16-room, 10-bathroom thing on a small lot. That doesn't work either. So, I think that the mechanism is in place that when he builds, he has to be within the scope, but we can't tell him what to do. We can't force it upon him.
Outside of code.
Pardon?
Outside of code, we can make him follow code.
Wait.
There's a motion on the floor to hold. I don't know if there's been a second.
Motion to hold it.
I haven't gotten a chance to speak yet.
Alderman Franco?
So I hear what everybody's saying, and Alderman Bug makes some great points. I don't see any downside in this at all, zero. Because the worst thing that happens, this guy buys the lot, it's on the tax rolls, he's got to keep it up, and the neighbors still have open space. Nobody's complaining, I'm guessing, that there's an open lot there. The best case scenario, they build 2 homes under the requirements that the city has, and we have 2 beautiful homes there. I don't see any real downside with this. And if we're gonna have this guy come in and talk to us, and he's gonna say exactly what the Corporation Council said, we're gonna build these homes there, and we're gonna take that as okay, but when it comes to the Corporation Council, we're not. I just don't see why we're making this a big deal. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do it and roll the dice, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't build on it, he's responsible for it, and they still have open space. And who would want to buy lots and not build homes to make money on it? I just don't see this conversation being really of any substance. I just don't see any problem with this at all. So that's my comment. I'm just kind of surprised we're even here.
Any other discussion on this agenda item or questions? Okay.
I think the same. We
Alderwoman
don't have to
Garza?
put the conditions because we have so many lots in the city of Aurora. And they are for sale already. So if we start putting conditions, so they want to stay forever in there. So a lot of people, and especially, and I'm talking about the Latino community, they buy the lots because they want it for future, for build something in the future or for their grandkids and see what they want in the future. But they want to buy it. And if we start putting conditions, I don't think they work. So we want to keep cutting the grass,
Or if they
paying
wanted,
taxes
if they
and
wanted a
everything.
zoning change, they'd have to come back
Yeah.
to the council with that plan
Yes.
or something. Okay. Alderwoman Smith, anybody else?
This is an example of why things need to go through committee. We could have had this conversation in committee, we wouldn't have had it here. I understand the need to move, I understand the whole thing, but I just feel like if this had gone through committee, that this would have been a smoother transition, because you're right, you can't tell somebody what to put on a property. You can't, it's once they purchase it, it is their property, and it is zoned a certain way. So I just think that, we could have had, some of this stuff could have been taken care of before it got this far, which is why we have the process that we have. And following the process is always the better way to go, so.
In the past, have we brought these through committee or bring them direct to council?
Correct.
It's-
We originally brought the plan for all of these properties to city council to explain the process of why we would be bringing these direct to. And that any 3 to 4 week delay of when we get an offer in order to move the property along to then bring it through, we were losing any of our offers, because most people don't keep offers, don't keep offers open that long. So that was the marching orders going forward, is to bring them direct to council so we can get these approved when we find buyers that are ready to go, ready, willing, and able, that we can move the process along.
That was when you originally brought it to council 2.5 years ago, or? It's been longer than that, because it wasn't when I was on the council.
No, it was probably,
Over 3 years, probably.
that was with the original one. I think I've spoken to all the different aldermen on all of them on the different process of how we'd be doing this, how would we be moving it forward, so they were aware and fully knew that normally we would go through the process with the sale of this and everything else as we do, but with these single-family homes that are ready to go, ready to build, this was the plan and the process that everyone kind of agreed on and we went through in order to move. And, when we have buyers that are ready, willing, and able to go.
And in all the internal discussions while going through budget and staffing cuts, this was something that was city employees brought forward as we have all this property, can we divest as part of the city's financial picture? So I know you guys have been working hard.
I believe, as you see in the
hard
legislature, it goes back to 2016 originally. There's been, development, economic development, permits, standards, zoning, the amount of, and the mayor's office involved in it, the engineering, planning, as everyone's a full-on process where we have, dozens of properties. These are the ones that are marketable, ready to go, clear, empty, green space. Most of them are ready to be built immediately. That these are the ones that we started with. There's other properties where we need to take forward that have either some zoning changes. This was one of the properties where we had to split it, so we made sure that there wouldn't be one single-family home. It'd be 2 different single-family homes, and this was the process that we brought forward.
Alderman Seville?
Yeah, the reason for my concern, of course, I hope the council understands, is I just thought that it lacked the information that I would be looking for. And I'm hopeful that in the future that information that you present to us would be more thorough and the like, and not just the basics. It doesn't seem to be favorability to second my motion, so I'm going to withdraw the first motion. And I understand what's going on. I appreciate hearing from Alderman Nunez and wanting to develop it. I think it's a good idea as well. I just thought it lacked more information to give us a certain amount of comfort level. That's all.
Alderman Masiacos.
I think we've already been through a first round. If Alderman Seville withdrew it, did you withdraw your motion? You withdrew his motion. I'd like to put the question to a vote, or call into question the vote, move forward.
Called the question. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Barrera.
Yes.
Garza.
Yes.
Masiacos.
Yes.
Nunez.
Yes.
Franco.
Yes.
Seville.
Yes.
Benuelos.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Bug.
Yes.
Bade.
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
12 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. This resolution is approved, and we will take the advice and recommendations of both Alderwoman Smith and Alderman Seville in the future. Thank you for working this through. I'll sign it in the morning. Next is the bills. Agenda item 260016.
Motion
The bill
to
is
pay the
summary of
bills.
large bills.
Second.
Motion was made by Alderwoman Garza, seconded by Alderman Bug. Are there any questions, discussion on the bills?
Mayor, I have a question.
Alderman White?
Yes, looking through the bills, and it's probably a simple response. I did notice that we are paying about $200,000 to ACA. I was wondering, is that a part of the money that we're giving them, or is that something separate?
So we have a standing contract every year with the Aurora Civic Center Authority for the maintenance of River Edge Park. This is a payment that is tied to that agreement. I want to say it's, don't quote me on the number, 1.3, 1.4 million.
Okay.
And that, I believe, is what it's for, unless you have anything to add to that, Stacy or somebody from finance. We did have, just so everybody's aware, Brian Caputo went through and finance went through all of the back bills to try and clean up things that we still owe the Aurora Civic Center Authority. And I think there's one outstanding piece. I'll let you explain.
Stacy Peterson, Chief Financial Officer. That is correct with the mayor's statement in regards to what we are paying to the Aurora Civic Center Authority.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to get clarity on that.
And we are pretty close to being all caught up, with the exception of the, I'm not sure what it was. I know there's one outstanding item. Okay. So there was a motion and a second to pay the bills. Are there any further questions while we've got Stacy? Alderwoman Bate? Oh, no, no. Okay. I'll ask clerk, please call the roll. Thank you, Stacy.
Barrera.
Yes.
Garza.
Yes.
Masiacos.
Yes.
Nunez.
Yes.
Franco.
Yes.
Seville.
Yes.
Benuelos.
Yes.
Smith. Bug.
Yes.
Bade.
Yes.
Larson.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
11 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. Bills are approved. There's no need for a closed session. There being no further business to come before the council, is there a motion to adjourn this
Motion to
meeting?
adjourn.
Motion made
Second.
by Alderman Franco, second by Alderwoman Garza. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned at 7:34 p.m.